What we really need is to create collaborative space, is to create space to integrate the feminine and masculine energies. And like I said, to create space for the righteous masculine, the divine masculine to be in our lives, to be collaborating with us externally as well as internally. But I'm saying here specifically with the God of Unity, it's about external collaboration. So yes, there are men in this world, loads. I'm not even saying there's like a few, like doing very fucked up things. There's an account on Instagram called No Small Talk that I really like, and they were posting a thread from Twitter, all of these men talking about how women really hate sex, and like all the women that they've been with. It was frightening, honestly, like some very predatory shit. And I'm just like, yeah, I was like, so that's the state of the consciousness of a lot of men. But there are also men who are awakening to their divine nature and to their spirituality and healing their masculinity and integrating their femininity and doing that work. It's necessary. And they're doing that solo. They're doing that alone in wilderness, right? They don't have communities of support. They don't have compassionate communities. They don't have wise communities. They may have one person that they can go and talk to. But for the most part, the divine feminine has created this space for herself itself, which is gendered hilariously, as I talk about feminine energy not being biological, not being a gendered thing. And yet those of us who primarily express through, heal through, live through the feminine energy end up creating spaces that are gendered, barred by gender. It's a problem. We can't allow the divine masculine, I'm getting tearful as I say this, it's very spiritual energy coming through. We can't allow the divine masculine to just be wandering out in the world trying to heal solo, okay? We need to bring the divine masculine back in and to integrate. And how you do that, the discernment is energy, okay? You don't need to fuck with all men. Like, I'm not telling you to do that. You need to use energetic discernment, spiritual discernment, to see the men who belong in kind of righteous community with us. You need to. It's important. And even in terms of my Astro Mixer, that's the space that I'm trying to create. Of course, it's predominantly women in that space because women are most engaged in the healing astrology tarot space. But it's really important that we continue to allow men who are seeking a home, right? Mars, the warrior, home. Men who are seeking to come home, space. And I say this, listen, I tend to shop in men's sections because I like androgynous aesthetics. And for whatever reason, I think it's because men tend to shop less, generally speaking. The clothing quality seems to be better. I think they seem to think that women have a higher turnover of expenditure, so they give us cheap shit. So I go to men's sections, and I was in the men's section in the shop the other day, and I picked up some stuff and I wanted to try it on, and it was in the middle of the afternoon, so no one was really there. Most people were at work. And I thought, let me just go to the changing rooms in the men's section. As I was approaching the changing room, I felt physical threat. Let me tell you something. Not only were there no men in the changing room, there was no threat. There was nothing. It was a lovely environment. There was no apparent reason for me to be feeling afraid and tension in my body. What came up for me is that my fear of being vulnerable, my lack of physical safety around men. Because remember, I'm going into a changing room in which I'm literally going to make myself naked. I'm going to undress. And my body was like, that's not safe. It was like alarm bells. No, 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 no. I still went in and I changed and it was fine. But it was like, it really showed me how we have like conditioned ourselves necessarily into protectionism, and so we create spaces in which we don't have to be threatened. And it's real. The threat is real. I'm not pretending that it's not. But if that's now part of our nervous system, physiologically, if every time you get around a man, divine or not, righteous or not, healing or not, you have the same, it's so funny. Like Diane, Miss D. Louise just came in the room, and she was saying yesterday on her live about this idea of like not feeling safe around men. And when I was thinking about this, when I was writing my notes earlier, she was on my mind because I was thinking about what she said. And just as I'm talking about this, she comes into the room. Like, it's such a confirmation. So if your response to all men is fear and tension and threat and unsafety, you need healing. It can't be your permanent reality. It just can't. You need healing. And I say we need healing because I'm describing obviously how I felt going into that changing room, because it's no longer a logical observation of real threat in the world. It's now a physiological, biological imperative to be afraid around men. And it's not healthy. And that's what prevents the divine masculine from being integrated into our communities, because we're scared of them. Oh, that energy is hitting my heart chakra. We're afraid. So brave of you to insist that kind of instinctive thing. I needed to hear this too and need this encouragement and this courage, sorry. Yes, sending you so much love. And obviously, you know, many people experience sexual abuse. There are real reasons. Like, I keep saying it's not like a fantasy. I'm not trying to pretend that these threats aren't real. So I'm not encouraging you already as well to like re-traumatize yourself or to put yourself in spaces of threat because you're trying to lean into pain. For me, I logically observed the situation and saw there was no threat, and I recognized it was an energy of fear. And I was like, okay, I'm going in, you know, this is fine. It's okay for me to have that physical reaction, but I also know that I am safe here. And we need to learn that. And I'll say what I'm thinking about right now. I hope it's okay to share, Spirit.